Good day, good morning, and welcome to Chess and Wine. So we've got chess, but we don't have wine. We've got wine, cocks, and wine bottles in the back, and everything. So it's still sufficient. We're still chessing and whining. So here we go. This is it. We are still on the issue of establishing interim chess committees, interim structures in the region, the province, in the country even. But here's an interesting thing because I've just been enlightened. Because you remember I said that we're coming into this thing we're not aware of, or we are learning together. I think it's something that I've said in the post on Facebook, but even here, I think I must have said it, that the reason why we're making this interim structure so public and we want everybody to know about it and that it is here is that we need people to come forward and give us direction, let us know how it should be happening. And we've just figured, I just found out that it's not happening the way it's supposed to be happening. And there's a few reasons why. So here's how an interim structure is supposed to come about. There are one member or two members, if that's the case, who are still remaining in the previous structure are the ones with the authority or at least the right to help set up an interim structure, right? So in our case, in Ehlanzeni chess, so obviously the person that came with the suggestion. Now I'm gonna be just because the whole point is that everybody's aware of what's happening and how it's supposed to be happening instead of the way it's happening, right? So here is Ehlanzeni chess, and it hasn't been active for 2 years. We haven't had anybody speaking about chess or even the federation being active for that amount of time. And now we have this issue. Sorry, no, but maybe it was my fault. Because here's the thing, I'm putting pressure on everybody to bring back Ehlanzeni chairs, bring back the committee, people want to play and so forth. And the people that feel the pressure are the ones who are still around, who are still active, or who are visibly still part of Ehlanzeni, even though Ehlanzeni chairs had long been dismantled. So here's how it is. I'm gonna say names, right? Because obviously, if you're in a public office, your name is the public's name. It's our name. So previously in Ehlanzeni chairs, I think the people who were part of the committee was Fumi Maluleke, who was the president, I think, and then there was Dumisa Nkosi. I'm not really sure what role he was in the last committee. There was Karen Talyard, and there was it Daniela somebody. Yes, and I know Kobas was probably part of it as well. Kobas van Heerden and so forth. But then, as I'm getting the information right now, as it keeps coming back, that everybody obviously started resigning during COVID. So we've always, even in some episodes here in the podcast in this channel, we've spoken about how COVID was the reason why a lot of clubs fell down, a lot of federations, and so forth and so forth. But then now everybody started resigning apparently during COVID. And as it turns out, the only two people that have not resigned is Dumi Sankosi and Fumi Maluleke, which means they are the ones with the power to actually initiate this whole thing of interim committees to reestablish Ehlanzeni chairs. So it's actually all on their shoulders. But then with the pressure, obviously, with Karen Talyard being the one that has most of the equipment of Ehlanzeni chairs, access to, I don't know, everything to do with Ehlanzeni chairs. She's the person that we've been going to whenever we needed information or at least things surrounding Ehlanzeni chairs. Whenever we needed chess equipment to be loaned to us when we were doing chess tournaments, we didn't have enough. We'd speak to her because, so in our mind, I'm going to speak in us terms. Our minds, we thought that she was obviously still the one with all the power or the influence, or at least the initiative power to start to at least resuscitate the federation, right? And I remember I even mentioned it to her as well, that in the last year, Fumaluka called me to say that he always no longer has time to be part of the federation, and he needed, if I was willing to come forward and do Ehlanzeni chess things and obviously get the federation back up, or he could support me. But then I was busy with other things. I think I was part of some SGP thingy, school governing body nonsense. But yes, it's not nonsense. I'm just saying. And then obviously I couldn't take him up on that offer, but I was still obviously still doing tournaments. So this year again, he had told me that the equipment was with the car, and if I needed it, I could speak to him, and I did. So now this year, when I speak here on the podcast, obviously on the podcast about issues of federations coming to life, we needing Ehlanzeni chairs or other federations coming up and running tournaments, Karen comes up and says, "Wait, Eddie, if you want to start an interim committee, you can just go ahead and do it." And she mentions that she can also check from her club if there were people who were interested in being a part of the interim structure. I'm like, okay, go ahead, please, let's do it. Let's see what can happen. Then she comes back with the name and says, okay, I have 1, 2, 3 people interested. And I think she mentioned Daniela was interested. And I should find some people who are also interested. And I speak to people from the Nkomazi Chess Club. I speak to people from the Mobile Chess Club and other active players, the schools as well. I'm like, okay, so if you're interested, we're starting an interim committee. This is what's happening, obviously through Karen. And then people send their names, and then we send back. And then she comes back and says, okay, fine, these are the people that you have, but Daniela is no longer interested. Obviously, because she was doing it for her child. Maybe that's personal information, but her child is no longer be playing chess. You see this thing about parents being part of interim committee. We need chess players to be part of not interim committees. I mean, executive committees. People should not be doing it because their kids are part of it, but they should be doing it because they are passionate about chess and they want to grow the sport. So you see some people who are doing it just for their kids. So you see now the conflict of interest, because when they're in there now, they'll be representing the interests of their kids. See, very questionable. I don't think people should be part of such important structures just for the sake of their kids. It's not like the SGP structure because you become part of the school governing body because you've got a kid in the school, right? But unlike here, you become a part of an executive committee because you're a member of a chess club, and obviously you're an executive member of a chess club, and you're interested in helping in the development of the federation. That's the only reason you should be part of an executive committee of a federation. So yes, first, now getting just into this story because I just want to make sure that when Nkangala Chess and Emma, what's this other region as well? Well, there's Nkangala, there's Khatsibande. When they also try to bring back their structures, they do it in the proper way, and that is speaking to the remaining members who have not resigned, who are still part of the committee, who are still part of the structure, and have them initiate the whole thing, co-opt members. And then obviously the whole point of it is just to push to us to get quickly to, what do we call this? The AGM, the elective AGM, so we can properly elect members into office. Right? So now the issue here is that the people who initiated this whole thing, that being Karen Toyat, she had already resigned, even though everything is still left with her, but she's no longer a part of it. And the people who are still a part of it are no longer around because obviously they've got other commitments. Dumi Sankosi is in the Eastern Cape. I'm sure everybody knows, if you're in chess, you know that he's the recent Eastern Cape chess champion. And now we're speaking Ehlanzeni issues. So, but still though, I think the fact that he hasn't resigned still gives him some authority, right? Like he still has a role in this. So he's one of the people that should have rose to the invitation, to the challenge, or to the request that was sent by me here. But at least, obviously, he's coming back with ideas. Obviously, what am I saying? He is available to assist, available to help move this thing swiftly forward. But then the other person as well is Fumi Maluleke as well, so these are the people that we need now to come back and say, yes, you've got to go ahead from us. As the remaining members of because you remember I said that I don't want people coming up after we've called an AGM, and then they want to cancel an AGM, and then we have to reverse everything after so many times of so many months of working towards getting this thing right. I did say that. So we don't want situations like that. And it's a very good thing that people are coming up right now, like so soon before we've even gone too far. So it's fine. We've got the interim, the members who are willing to be part of the interim structure. We can even dissolve the interim committee that we've set up. It doesn't matter. No one is in there for their own personal interests. We just want a proper structure. And I will continue encouraging chess players around to set up the clubs and have them registered, because that is obviously the power, right? Like we need the clubs to be able to come and vote. They're the ones with the power. Without the clubs, we don't have a say. You don't have a say. So, but yeah, digressing. So yes, the issue here is that we need those people to come back and help us officially, because my concern was, I mean, I've started getting red flags when now we're getting an interim structure with so many limitations. That we've got an interim structure, but it can't do 1, 2, 3. It's an interim structure, but it can't run tournaments. It's an interim structure, but it can't. And then obviously there was a comment from Pule Mangonyana, who's Pule Popla in Bloemfontein in the Free State, who stated that an interim structure is an official structure and represents Chess South Africa in the region. So the interim structure is supposed to have all the power, and what's missing for the interim structure to have all the power is these two people, especially in the case of Ehlanzeni, is Dumisa Nkosi and Fumi Maluleke, to give it a go, because they are the ones with the go now. And we're waiting for them, our leaders. We are supposed to be in touch with you. Like I said, we call upon all the leaders. And since they had been elected into office, they are the leaders that we're speaking of, and they are the ones with the responsibility to ensure that this structure comes back to life in their own terms, because they are part of the office now, right? Yeah, but I mean, it's a good thing that Karen and I, as well as part of this, initiated this and obviously got everybody out and interested in seeing that obviously the time is now. We need to get the structure out. We need to get the Ehlanzeni up and running. But we needed to represent the proper interests. So we needed to represent the players. We needed to represent clubs. We needed to not be, I don't know, a parents' what do you have? You see, so it's we don't want members in office who are only there because their kids play chess and they want to have something to do while they are waiting for their kids to. I know. We want people who want to advance the interests of chess players, people who want to advance the interests of the game of chess. And we're going to call upon Saskok as well to be on board to assist us in getting this thing in order. But we're not going to do it in this funny terms, because we need a proper structure. Because we know, like me speaking from experience, even Dumisa and Fumi, we know what a terrible, what a bad executive committee structure does to the morale of the players, to discourage talent, to frustrate coaches. Read The Coach, Life Adventures Through Chess. I keep telling you, go get it on takealot.com. Just type The Coach by Eddie Pila, or just go in there and read the politics, the damage that politics can do in discouraging you while you're trying to make a change, when you're trying to bring about development, the damage that it can do when they start inflating entry fees and so forth, like we see Hendrik Dutoy doing in Chess South Africa. So we don't want the same thing to be happening here, because I mean, if we have a structure here in the Ehlanzeni chess and it turns out to be the structure that doesn't represent the interests of all chess players, but it represents only a few chess players who obviously have their own kids in this, then it doesn't serve what a federation is meant to be serving. It doesn't serve the interest that we're trying to ensure that we're there because we want to advance the game of chess. Yes, I see you. You can tell that the phone is shaking. Oh, and once again, for the people that are always focusing on the board, this is my left hand. So if you go and you look, you see a black square, and for you, because of the mirror effect, it looks like it's on the right, and you want to question me. This is my left hand, and this is my right hand. So this white square is on the right. You see that? Yes. Yeah, let me just remove this so it's visible. Wait, let me see. There you go. Anyways, so yeah. But that's the point of this episode. Just ensuring that when you are bringing up your structures in the committees, in the regional federations, you involve the right people, and that is the people that have not resigned. That is the remaining members. Because I mean, not everyone can resign. Because I mean, who will the last person resign to? I don't know. But yeah, unless then obviously there's always going to be that one person remaining. But my take was that in Ehlanzeni chess, there was no one remaining except for Karen. And then when Karen said she no longer wants anything to do with chess or with Ehlanzeni chess, it meant that, okay, it's open season. Anybody can come in. No, let's go. Let's do this. And then we did it. But still, we're doing it in the interest of of chess in the community, interest of chess in the region, and we'll do whatever it takes. And right now, we are calling upon everyone again with more views, more opinions, more guidelines, because we need the guidance to go about this the right way. And at some point, we'll have done it excellently. My God. Together we can do more. Together we can grow this thing. I mean, now I sound like ANC. I sound like an ANC slogan. Together we can do more. But anyways, this has been Chess and Wine with Eddie Pila. Thank you for watching. Share this with the people who want to be a part of the chess executive structures, whatever, region, clubs, whatsoever. Let's do this. Let's do this. Thank you.